What's going on, YouTube? This is Mick on the mic, and the topic for today: Donald Trump wants to give police immunity. Now, before I get started, I'd like everyone to hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can be notified whenever I drop a new video. So let's get started. Donald Trump wants to give police immunity. Now, I know when we all first hear this, we think, oh wow, Trump wants the police to be able to go around beating people, shooting people, violating people's rights without the worry or ability of being criminally prosecuted. But the fact of the matter is, that's not what it means at all. The proposal that Donald Trump is putting forth is to give the police immunity for civil prosecutions. So basically what he wants to happen is, the only way you can civilly sue a police officer is they have to be found guilty criminally first. And the reason being is there's a big difference in a criminal prosecution and a civil prosecution. Criminally, all you need criminally to be found guilty, you need to be found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, which means the jury has to be 98% sure that this person is guilty of what he or she is being charged with. Whereas in the civil suit, you only have to you have the preponderance of the evidence, which means the person has to be more likely than not guilty of what they're being accused of. So the jury has to say, okay, more likely than not, he or she did what they're being accused of. So you just need a 51%. You have to be 51% sure that they're guilty. So that's a really big difference. The reason Trump is doing that is because he feels like the police are unable to do their job the way they're supposed to. He feels like a lot of them are walking on eggshells because they have fear of being sued civilly. They have a fear that, hey, I might be doing something in my job. Say for instance, a robbery is going on, and the police officer have a shootout with the robber. He ends up shooting the robber. Well, that robber's family can sue the police officer civilly for shooting them, even though the police was doing his job trying to stop a crime. So what Trump's proposal is that officer has to be found guilty in a criminal court before he could be sued civilly. And do I agree with that? I understand both sides of it. You know, we all know the history of the police department, of police officers and black people. There's a very, very bad history there. You know, there's a lot of mistrust there, and for very good reasons. As we all know, since the beginning of the police, it's always been they treated black people unfairly. Since the beginning, since police started. I think that's why they say the police was to hunt down black slaves. So there's a lot of mistrust there. Then we see the videos, you see the videos of police doing certain things to unarmed black men and unarmed black women. You had a Sonya Macy case shooting that just happened. A lot of things, Tamir Rice, a lot of things that happened. And even though these incidents are far in between, when they're caught on video and they get magnified, to the public, it's like you feel like it's happening all day, every day. But when in reality, it's really not. You got over maybe 20 to 50, about 50,000 police stops per day in the country. 50,000 police stops. So if the majority of police were going around violating people's rights, beating people, shooting people, then you'll have videos everywhere, all over the place. You have videos all day, every day of the police doing this. But the problem is, we have bad apples, it makes it look bad for the whole tree. So you have, if a police officer is doing criminal activity, planting evidence, beating unarmed people, shooting unarmed people, doing things that they're not supposed to do, then it makes the whole force looks bad. But in reality, I've known some police officers personally that's been very good people. Then I've also ran into bad police officers. So that's a very, very touchy situation. I see both sides of the aisle on that one. But to say that Donald Trump wants the police to have full immunity, where they could just go around just doing whatever they want without a worry about being criminally prosecuted, is untrue. That's not what he's trying to do at all. He basically don't want the police to walk on eggshells. He wants them to be able to do their job properly, and he thinks they're being hindered by worrying about being sued civilly, losing their pension, losing their houses and things like that, because that has happened before. But on the flip side, the police department has to do a better job training their police officers, holding them accountable for any misconduct that they're doing, because there's misconduct being done every day. and it has to stop. These police officers, they're supposed to be professionals at their jobs. They're supposed to be knowing what they're doing. They're not supposed to, go into a situation looking for a reason to shoot someone, as in like the Sonia Macy incident. Claiming she wants to throw hot water on you, when that situation could have been easily de-escalated. Actually, to me, that situation was escalated by the police officer who did the shooting, so he is rightfully being criminally prosecuted. Now, if he gets found guilty, then he can also be civilly prosecuted. That means the immunity that Donald Trump wants to give him wouldn't work for him. So that's what that whole situation is about. It just goes to show a lot of things that a lot of people put on Donald Trump, which are untrue. They try to make it look bad, like I said before. Project 25, they continuing. Even in the DNC, the convention recently, they're trying to put Project 25 in his lap as if that's one of his policies or one of his plans, even though he's publicly stated that he has nothing to do with Project 25. He doesn't like it. He doesn't want it, and it doesn't speak for him. But they still try to make it out as if it's one of his policies. And now, and also with the police immunity, they want to look like Donald Trump want the police to be able to go around doing anything they want to black people, shooting unarmed black people, this and that and the other, without the ability of being criminally prosecuted. And that's not what he's trying to do at all. He's basically saying civil prosecution. Because if you really thought about it, we all know the president doesn't have the power to give a police immunity from criminal prosecution. He doesn't even have that power at all. So for people to think that that's what he's trying to do shows that they're not really looking into what's going on. They're not doing the research. They're just hearing what people have to say and just going with it. But nowadays you gotta look into everything. Everything from what I've seen, most of the things, the attacks on Donald Trump, saying what he's trying to do and what he means by this and that. Every time I look into it, 99% of the time it's false. So that's what I got for you today. Donald Trump does not want to give the police criminal immunity. What he wants to give them is civil immunity if they have not been convicted criminally. Now, if they have been convicted criminally, then they could be sued civilly. So that's what I got for you today. Once again, this is Mick on the mic. Peace.